Lakers' 9-game winning streak is snapped. They lose at home to the Orlando Magic 119-118, and this is their first loss of 2020, of the year, of the decade. So we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to break this loss down. Plus, we've also got to talk some Laker trade rumors. We've got all of that and more coming up right now on Lakers Report. Quick subscriber shout out to a few subscribers who are so sweet and always show so much support in the comments. So last video I asked you guys if you were a subscriber to just comment us down below and leave a comment, and I went through the comments and I picked a few that I wanted to shout out today. So real quick, huge shout out to, we have Johnny Chapman, we have S.A. Payaso, Keeping It Real 00, Julius Raimundo, Revis King, and Jelani Rose. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. It really means the world to me, and I'm so grateful that you guys are subscribed and a member of this Lakers Report family. Now, this was another strange win. Once again, the Lakers got off to a really slow start. They actually found themselves in a pretty big deficit, down by 20 in that first half, and even down by 20 kind of midway through the third quarter, but then ultimately went on a huge run to end up taking the lead, tying it up, but at the end of the day, they just weren't able to pull away and ended up losing by 1. But here are the 3 biggest takeaways from this game. So number 1, we have AD missing his 4th consecutive game. Obviously, last week, AD went down with that gluteus maximus contusion. He is yet to return. This is his 4th straight consecutive miss. And yes, the Lakers have played well without him. They've been able to hold it down, still get some wins, but still, AD needs to return soon. I'm really hoping he's going to, because we really miss not only his offensive skills, his 27 points per game that he's been averaging this season, but also defensively. You know, AD is really the main focus point of our defense, and we definitely see that the Lakers could really use him. But again, AD, I think, is most likely going to be returning during the Grammy road trip, hopefully by this Saturday when the Lakers do take on the Houston Rockets. He is reportedly getting better day by day, but again, that's a pretty serious injury, not very fun to deal with, pretty darn painful. So AD misses a game and the Lakers lose, but ultimately they have been doing pretty well without him, and that has been due to a lot of guys making some big contributions, which leads us to our second takeaway here today. We have Quinn Cook and Troy Daniels really shined. Now, those two guys were the stars of the game the other night against the Orlando Magic. They combined for 39 points. Quinn Cook especially was really, really crucial in helping the Lakers come back when we were down by 20 and ultimately letting us take the lead and giving us that chance to win. He really played extremely well, and Troy Daniels as well. Those two guys were knocking down threes like crazy, and it was really exciting, and I was really happy to watch them have good games, because obviously those have been two guys who have really struggled to find themselves consistent minutes this season. Quinn Cook lately had found himself completely out of the rotation before this latest injury to Rajon Rondo, and those two guys really are good scorers and good shooters. Just unfortunately, like I said, minutes have been very inconsistent, playing time has been very inconsistent, so they haven't really been able to get a fair chance to prove what they can do. So because those two guys have shown, though, when they do get the minutes, that they can score, they are capable of knocking down those threes, it leads me to kind of question whether or not the Lakers should really pursue a trade, whether or not we actually really do need another shooter, and if we go out and get another shooter, if that's really even going to make a big difference or not. But nonetheless, Quinn Cook, Troy Daniels definitely were the 2 MVPs for that game against Orlando. And then the third takeaway here, which is something that us Laker fans have grown increasingly frustrated with, Kyle Kuzma continues his inconsistent play. Now, Kuz, you know, this is a really big time for him, because he's been getting, since AD's been out, he's been getting more playing time. He's kind of getting AD's minutes, his kind of role there, but he's just not been able to make the most of it consistently. The other night against Orlando, we saw Kuz really struggle shooting the ball. Again, he only shot 2 for 10 from the floor, only ended up with 4 points. He did have 7 assists, so he was able to kind of contribute a little bit and help some other guys get involved. He also had 5 rebounds, but still, the Lakers need Kyle Kuzma to be able to step up and be more of a consistent scorer, especially when a guy like AD is out, a guy who averages about 27 points per game. This was a perfect opportunity for Kuz to really be able to prove that he can do this consistently, that he deserves to have more playing time, deserves to be on this Lakers team, but unfortunately, while AD's been gone, he just still has not been able to do it consistently. And I, for one, am growing increasingly just frustrated and tired of it. I'm not really expecting anything from Kuz at this point. I don't get excited when he has a good game because I know he's just not going to be able to do it consistently. So hopefully as the season progresses, if he still is a Laker come trade deadline, he will be able to somehow finally be able to put it together consistently. But so far, Kuz has not been able to do it. So those are my 3 biggest takeaways from the Lakers' recent loss to the Orlando Magic. But if you have another one, of course, make sure to comment that down below because I would love to hear what your guys' 3 biggest takeaways from this loss would be and what you think the Lakers need to work on in order to make sure to get that win against the Houston Rockets Saturday night. Alright, Laker fam, now I need your help with something because I was talking to the guys over at Chat Sports and I was telling them that us Laker fans, we have the strongest fan base, strongest family around town, and they just didn't believe me. They thought that their teams had a stronger fan base, so let's prove them all wrong. We are about to have an ad here, and while this ad is running, do me a favor and just go ahead and comment down below and predict Saturday night's score. Again, the Lakers will be in Houston taking on the Rockets, so while this ad is running over really quickly, just go comment down below and predict that Houston Rockets Lakers score, and let these guys at Chat Sports know that us Laker fans, we don't mess around and we are the strongest fan base around town. Alright, now moving on. Now unfortunately the Lakers did not only lose to the Orlando Magic, but they also lost a player during that game. Alex Caruso suffered an injury. He got an elbow to the head by Mo Bamba. Early on in that game, he was left and went to the locker room with concussion-like symptoms. Of course, he didn't return. Now, it is being reported that he will be reevaluated Thursday, so hopefully all of that comes up clear and he'll be able to go Saturday against the Houston Rockets because obviously Caruso's been having a big season for us, really contributing and we definitely could use him Saturday night. But of course, we did have Cook and Daniels really step up in his place, but of course, we really want Caruso back in that lineup come Houston. Now, I think he's going to be in there. I don't think this is anything too serious, but again, with these concussion likes and any kind of head injury, you do want to play it safe. But if it were up to me, I would say that Caruso is most likely going to be in that lineup come Saturday. Now, I have a little update for you guys on some Kyle Kuzma trade rumors, but before we get into that and of course break down some of these other trade rumors, I want to let you guys know that we're having an awesome deal on all of our Lakers merch. All of Lakers merch is up to 50% off and including a great deal on an Anthony Davis jersey. So if you would like an AD jersey for only $52, then make sure to go to chatsports.com/AD3, or if you want to take a look at all of our other Laker gear, again, that's up to 50% off. All you have to do is go to chatsports.com/Lakers. Definitely make sure to take advantage of this awesome deal because I don't know how much longer it's going to be running. But let's move on and let's get into some Kyle Kuzma trade rumors updates. Now, obviously, Kuz has been, on the trading block for a while. Every single trade rumor just seems to be involving him. And in the beginning, it was reported that the Lakers were definitely not going to move him. They saw him as their future and they had no plans in trading him. Then it was being reported that actually the Lakers would be interested in trading him for the right piece and that reportedly all of the Laker players could be traded. Any player could be traded, of course, except for Anthony Davis and LeBron James. But now it is being reported that the Lakers are giving a lot of teams kind of conflicting reports on Kyle Kuzma. According to Brian Windward, a lot of teams feel like there is some misinformation regarding Kyle Kuzma being traded because some teams feel like they could definitely trade for him if they wanted him, while other teams feel like the Lakers have made it clear they have no plans to move him. So who really knows if Kyle Kuzma is going to be traded by the trade deadline? Personally, I just don't think they're going to do it. I think they do see Kuz, if not for their future long term, but definitely for at least this season. I don't really see them trading Kuz unless it really is for a big piece. But again, I just don't really see the Lakers making a blockbuster trade or really doing too much to kind of jeopardize this chemistry and this team that we already have, because obviously we are playing so well. We have such great team chemistry. I really do believe that the Lakers are most likely just going to kind of wait and see what happens with Iguodala, or of course wait and see what happens potentially with Darren Collison, maybe sign Jamal Crawford, another guy who was maybe bought out by his team. I just don't really see them trading Kuz, but again, you just never know. So I am curious, do you guys think Kyle Kuzma is going to be traded? If you do, type Y down below. If not, type N down below. Now moving on from Kyle Kuzma trade rumors, Lake Show Life recently came up with an article talking about 3 potential forwards that the Lakers could trade for. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit here with you guys because some of these names could be a little interesting. So first on their list, they had Jae Crowder. Now Jae Crowder, of course, also plays for the Memphis Grizzlies, and a lot of people feel that if the Lakers do miss out on Andre Iguodala, if Memphis decides to not buy him out and trades him to another team, that Jae Crowder would actually be another good option for the purple and golds. Now, he's been averaging some pretty solid numbers for Memphis. He's averaging about 10.7 points, a little over 6 rebounds, 3 assists. So his numbers are there. Now, his shooting is not necessarily the best, but defensively, Crowder could really have an impact with this team and help just like Iguodala would. So a lot of people are feeling that if Iguodala is not able to come to the Lakers, then Jae Crowder would be their next bet. Second on the list, we have Vince Carter. Now, obviously, Vince Carter is older. He's 42 years old. It's most likely that he is going to be bought out, but a lot of people feel that the Lakers should kind of just end up trading for him. Now, Vince Carter, like I said, older. He's announced that this is going to be his last year in the NBA, and he could honestly bring a lot to this team in terms of, providing that veteran leadership. Of course, the Lakers could really use another small forward. He's also a 37% three-point shooter on his entire career, so he can help us out kind of offensively, making sure to be kind of more of that consistent, reliable three-point shooter. Now, also, something with Vince Carter that's interesting is, he's on a very small term deal, only $2.7 million, so the Lakers could easily match that, trade a couple guys, potentially maybe even like Quinn Cook, maybe Jared Dudley, just to get Vince Carter, and he would provide some things. Again, he's not maybe my first choice, again, because he is older, but if the Lakers decide that they need kind of that veteran leadership, they desperately need another small forward, and they need a guy who can consistently knock down their threes, then Carter is a good option. And their third guy on this list is a guy that I've already talked a lot about. It's Robert Covington. Now, ESPN's Bobby Marks reported that reportedly, the Lakers actually tried to package together a little deal to trade for Covington. They tried to package Kyle Kuzma, Quinn Cook, and DeMarcus Cousins, but of course, the Timberwolves didn't bite on that. Now, I personally am not a huge fan of this trade, although Robert Covington is a very good player. Personally, I just don't really want to make a trade, but let's just say the Lakers did decide to trade for Covington. It could work out for them. They would be trading two of their worst defenders in Kyle Kuzma and Quinn Cook for one of the league's best wing defenders in Covington. He's also a great 3-and-D guy, so he could definitely have a good role with this team. I know a lot of people feel like he's a great player. If the Lakers could go out and get him, they definitely should make it happen, but personally, I don't really want the Lakers to make a trade. I would much rather them just kind of wait and see what happens with the buyout market and wait until just what happens with Jamal Crawford, what happens with Iguodala, what happens with kind of Darren Collis, and that's the route I would rather take. Don't really want to do anything to mess up this team chemistry, but out of all of these 3 players that I just talked about, again, we had Jae Crowder, we had Vince Carter, and of course Robert Covington. Which player would you guys like to see in the purple and gold? Which one do you think the Lakers should trade for if they have to trade for one of these 3 players? Let me know down in the comments below. That is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a double thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe here on Lakers Report if you have not yet done so. And until next time, Laker Hand is out. Bye, guys.